Hello everyone and welcome to this beginner's guide to E-Drivelaner for Fs22 here on Elm Creek. Now I've had a few requests to do a tutorial on E-Drivelaner, so I thought this would be a good time to do a beginner's guide on it and how to use it. Now this mod has been out for the past 2 years, but it's a brilliant mod once you get the basics of it, so let's get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where you can buy it and all that. So if we go into the store menu and we go into tools and we scroll down to miscellaneous, and we scroll along all the way till we get to eDriveLaner. You click on it and you've got the wee screen there, so it can cost £1,000, or if you want the smaller version, that costs you an extra £100. And according to the shop, it requires 1 horsepower, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, it costs you £1,000 or 1,100. So that's where you can buy it. And of course, you can download it off of the in-game mod hub for anyone that's wondering. So yeah, let's get into it a bit more. So I've got this New Holland tractor, and we've got the 2 different types of E-Drivelaner. And for anyone that doesn't know, E-Drivelaner is Tramlines, and you may have heard that if you're from the UK. So yeah, you've got the smaller version here. So if you've got a smaller tractor with less space, this one would work perfect for you. And if you've got a tractor that could fit a bigger one, then this one's even better because it gives you a wee bit more information on how to use them. And then we've just got horse seeder and front tank for the seeder. So let's jump into our New Holland tractor, and we are going to use the big screen because it's just easier to show you how to do it all. So let's hook up to this. So you do want to hook up to the eDriveLaner before you put any other implements on the tractor. I recommend you put it on the front of the tractor because it's basically like putting a front weight on the tractor, but it doesn't affect your front linkage, so you can put a front weight on the front if you wanted to, or a seed tank. But anyways, you may notice in the left hand side of my screen you'll see the little tractor, and then you'll see the implement on the front. So it says number 1, and number 1 is to adjust the actual tram lines themselves, so the width and the space in between the tractor and the tram lines. Number 2, that's for your monitor in the cab. So you can adjust it to where you want it to go. So if I click left bumper and right joystick to the sides, that'll make it go backwards, and if I move my joystick up and down, so that's the right joystick again with the left bumper, that makes it go up and down in the cab. And if I click my right bumper and right joystick, that can spin it round, and if I do my joystick the other way, that can make it go back and forth, so you can put it wherever you want, what feels better for you. So I'm going to put it about there. And once you've got that in the cab, you can turn it on by clicking left bumper and X for me because I'm on PlayStation. So that turns it on. So now you've got the screen on there, and you may see the wee tram lines at the back of the tractor. So now we reverse and we hook up to our front tank, and we'll get our seeder on as well. So we hook up to the front tank, and let's get the seeder on, and let's get all the tram lines aligned to the tractor and seeder. So let's get it hooked up. Now, you don't want to make the mistake I made and put the tram lines there, because your seeder will just reseed that bit of ground. So what you want to do is, you want to, if you look up on my left hand of my screen, you will see the little tractor. You want to go to number 1 now on the front implement, and you want to click both bumpers, sorry, and you want to do right joystick, and if you pull your joystick downwards, that pulls them backwards. So that's what you want to do. So try get it as close as you can. So for me, I can use the horse symbol there. I'll use the R. So if I use both bumpers and left joystick and align that with the R, there we go. That gives me my center line for the tram lines. And if I want to adjust these green ones, I go like this. So that is both bumpers and right joystick to the sideways. So I can make it as big as I want, and I can make it as small as I want. So for me, I'm going to put it about there, because that seems quite a good width. So that is the space in between your tram lines. So now I've got all the tram lines set up. How you want to do it, I recommend using a 6-meter seeder, and you do 3 passes. So the first pass, you don't do tram lines, so you just want to do your normal seeding. So let's get that started up. So you just, the first pass, you do normal seeding. And once you've done that, this seems to have gone quite fast actually, don't know why. But once you've done the first pass, then you move on to your second pass, and the second pass is when you do your tram lines. So I recommend doing 3 passes and using an 18-meter seeder or spreader, and I will show you that once we've done the seeding. So let's just get to the end here, and I can show you how to do this. I recommend using a seeder as well that doesn't have a bar in between the tractor and seeder, because if you have that, it does mess your tram lines up a wee bit as well. Right, so I've done my first pass now. So now it's time to put the tram lines in, because we're on to our second pass, and that's when I recommend putting tram lines in. So I've got my seeder down here. So now what you need to do is you need to go to number 1 in the left hand corner of your screen, and you need to pretend it's a cultivator. That's what I recommend doing. So left bumper and O, and that puts it down, and you may have just heard that beep when I put it down. And what you want to do is drive forward. I might just adjust my tram lines a wee bit, because I don't think they're big enough. So we'll just do it about that width. There we go, perfect. And let's drive forward. And there you go. So you'll see as soon as the green markers hit the ground, that's when the tram lines start. So there we go. Now this mod's not perfect, because some of your tram lines will be different sizes, as you can see, but it does a good job if you want to play quite realistically and use tram lines. There we go. And it seems like this mod as well actually makes your tractor go a wee bit faster, because I'm going 12 miles an hour when I should be really going 7, so that's another thing it does. So yeah, what I'll do is I will get this field finished, and I'll show you the field when it's finished, and then we'll skip ahead a month so you can see the tram lines once the crop has grown, and we can put a bit of fertilizer on the field as well. So I'll see you when the field's finished. Right, so I've just finished all the seeding in this field. So as you can see, we've got our tram lines. So as I said, you do 1 row, no tram lines. Then you do 1 row tram lines. Then you do 1 row tram lines, and then you repeat that cycle. So no tram lines. Sorry, no tram lines, no tram lines, and then you keep repeating that cycle. Now, there is one thing I kind of want to touch on a wee bit, so that is tram lines on headlands, because it's a wee bit different. If you want to get nice looking tram lines doing headlands, you've got to do it a certain way. So I'm going to show you that very quickly. I've just got a worker here to quickly cultivate some of a field, and so yeah, I've got a small bit of a field here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So yeah, and then once we've done this, we will go to the next month, and we will do a bit of fertilizing so you can see what it looks like with the tram lines in the field. So let's get this turned on. So yeah, on the first headland pass out of the 3 we're going to do is you don't do tram lines again. So I recommend doing 3 headlands if you got an 18-meter sprayer with a 6-meter seeder. So I recommend doing 3 headlands. So on the first headland, you don't do tram lines. Second headland, you do tram lines. And on the third headland, you don't do tram lines. And then I'll show you for the up and downs how to get it all set up properly. So what I'll do is I'll get this first headland done, and I'll see you when we get round to the second headland. Right, so that's us almost on the first headland. And we are going to move on to our second headland, and that's where we do tram lines. So let's reverse. And let's get lined up. Now, if you're going from a field entrance, I recommend starting your tram lines. So say this was the entrance, I would recommend starting your tram lines from about here, so you don't crush any crop. Let me just turn it on, sorry. There we go. So yeah, I would recommend starting it from about here and putting it down there. And then what you want to do is you want to line it up best you can. And so that's us onto the second headland. So what you want to do is you want to put this down, and there you go. And then that way you won't crush any crop as you drive into the field if you do it like that. So yeah, I'll meet you at the top of the field and I'll show you what you do when you come to do that top bit. Right, so we're here at the top of the field now. I haven't lifted anything up, so what you want to do is you want to lift your seeder first. So for us that's our back implement. You want to drive forward a wee bit further, just till you get to the edge of that. And then you want to reverse a wee bit. And then you want to go to your front implement, as you can see in the left hand side of my screen with the tractor. And you want to lift that up, number one. And what you want to do is you want to reverse, right? And line yourself up. As you can see, my worker hasn't done a very good job. From here, what you want to do is you want to put your seeder down first. There we go. And you want to line them green lines up with your last tram line. So what you want to do is you want to do the closest tram line to the unseeded area. So for us, I'll just quickly jump out. These green lines, they need to be in line with this left tram line here. So I recommend doing it like that. So what you want to do is you want to put it, wait a minute, let me select that, put it down, and go forward, and there you go. So it just means when you come to the turns, you won't be really going on much of the crop. Now, if you were wanting it to be one continuous tram line, you just have to go around all the corners without stopping. So I'll show you here. So you'd have to do like something like this. Geez, this worker is bad. So you just have to do like that, which doesn't always work the best, but it does work. So you just have to keep doing that if you want it to be all connected properly. But I recommend doing it where you kind of spin around and join them up. So yeah, let me just get around the full tram line, first headland of a tram line, then I'll show you what to do when it comes to the up and downs. Right, so once you've done the headlands and you've done your one up and down without tram lines, which is what I've done there, just so I can show you what to do on the tram line up and down. So this is the second up and down I'm on to now. What you want to do is, it's pretty much the same as when you got to that corner there. You want to line up your green dots with the closest, I would say tire mark tram line to the non-seeded area, or your tractor and seeder. And what you want to do is you want to put your tram lines down again in the left hand corner of my screen. Go to the implement and implement 1, and you want to put that down, as you can hear the beep again. And then you drive forward, and as you can see, it connects your headland tram lines to the up and down tram lines. And what you want to do, put your seeder down, and that's you. And that's pretty much it, for the seeding part of it anyway. So what I'm going to do is, I'll just finish this up and down, and we'll go ahead and skip a month. Oh, and one thing, actually, I forgot to show you when I was showing you the monitor. If you go to number 1, and you go, I believe it's right bumper and right joystick, and you move your joystick side to side, as you can see, it changes the number there. So you can have it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all the way up to 9 and back to 0. And basically, that represents each up and down you do. So right now I'm on to the second up and down. So if you got bad memory and you can't quite remember how many up and downs you've done, then you can use this to remind you. And if I was to move these green things at the back, so let me just remind myself, if I was to move them, as you can see, on the bottom of the monitor it moves the green bits, and if I was to move the orange one, as you can see, it moves as well. And if I was to pull it closer and closer to the tractor, as you can see, that one on the side moves as well. So let me just get that back to where it was. So that's the thing I forgot to tell you all about. But other than that, that is pretty much how you use E-Drivelaner. I will show you when it comes to fertilizing how you set a spreader up to work to this width. So you can do as many up and downs as you want. You just have to make sure you got the right size of sprayer and spreader to do that. So let's just get to the end here, and I'll go ahead a month. So we'll go to October, and I'll show you what it looks like once the crop has grown, the tram lines. Now, as I said, certain parts of the tram lines might not work, but most of it hopefully should. So I'm just going to leave that there because I'm not bothered about that field, because that field there's the main one for me. So let's just get this parked up in the farmyard here, and we'll skip ahead a month. So I'll see you when we're in October and it's ready to fertilize. Alright, so we're in the next month now. The crops have grown and it is ready to fertilize them, and as you can see, our tram lines are in, the same with that bit there. So let's get into our fertilizer sprayer. We'll do the sprayer first. Since the sprayer is the easier one to do, since you don't have to do any adjusting of the width. You really just unfold the sprayer like this. I'll just do it because I've got an open space right now. But as you can see, the tram lines don't always work perfectly, but most of the time they do. And you might have a wee bit of an overhang, but that's just because I wasn't going as straight as maybe I should have. And there we go, turn the sprayer on, and as you can see, we're putting fertilizer on it, and it should be the perfect width when you come down that tram line. So yeah, that's how you use the sprayer on the tram lines, and it's pretty much the same once you get to there. I'll very quickly show you. I'm going to crush some crop probably. Nope, okay. I'll very quickly show you what you would do if you're if you were doing a headland and you were just about to move on to doing the up and downs. So you would come along like this, and as you can see, the way I was showing you to join the tram lines, it does work quite nicely. So you just turn there, and if you got a sprayer that can turn quite fast, and then what you do is you just turn onto there, and there you go, and that's how you do it. So now what I'll do is I'll go and get the spreader out the shed, and I'll show you how to set all that up as well. So let's do that. Right, so I've got the spreader out the shed now, and we've moved a tram line down just so we're out the way between that fertilizer and this fertilizer. So now what you need to do is you need to change the width to 18 meters. So this spreader goes all the way up to 42 and can go down to 15, I believe. But we want it to be 18. So what you do is you press your left bumper and you press your right joystick down. And as you can see, we can change the width of the spreader. So that's 21 and there's 18. Perfect. So what you want to do is line yourself up with the tram line and turn the spreader on, and that's it pretty much. I did do that tram line there just to test it, so that's why there's some fertilizer there. But this is the perfect width for what we're doing. So you'll have no waste in fertilizer, which is good. I mean, if you're using precision farming, sorry, you shouldn't have a problem anyway, but it's the perfect width, so there'll be no waste to your fertilizer and you can save a bit of money. So let's get to the end here. And once we've done that, I think that'll be the end of this tutorial to E-Drivelaner, because I've pretty much shown you everything you need to know when it comes to E-Drivelaner and how to seed and how to fertilize. So that's us there. So I'll just hop out here and I will end it there. Alright, so if you found this video useful or helpful, please do like and subscribe, and also comment down below if you're enjoying these tutorials and if you found it helpful. And if you'd like to join any of my socials, they are linked below this video. And if you'd like to share this video with anyone else, I'd appreciate that as well. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.